Braden's brain, Braden's brain, Braden's brain. It's a segment where my co-host Braden Murray gives us some serious brain. Whatever's going on in Braden Murray's world. Braden, would you please give us some brain?
Gladly, Cam. Gladly.
I don't know what this is. I purposely ask you to not tell me what these things are. You did tell me what you were going to do initially.
Yeah. And
But
then
you've
said
since changed.
things have changed in the last 5 minutes.
And by the way, when you say I said you could do it.
Right.
I'm not familiar with this subject that you're talking about. We'll riff off of it.
Right. It was going to be about Planet of the Apes.
Oh, I thought you were going to save that for another time, potentially. I've never seen a Planet of the Apes movie. I think I saw the Mark Wahlberg one.
Okay.
Which is panned as maybe the worst.
Probably the worst. Yeah.
Well, like, I don't know. They've got some sequels that are bad. But
right.
I've wanted to watch the original, like Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
Right? I've wanted to watch that. It's not available anywhere, which I thought was wild for, they just released one, obviously.
My dad watched it.
Why wouldn't they make those all available?
They were showing it on
some
cable
streaming.
television recently. My dad watched it over the weekend.
Damn, no. See, that's the problem. I don't have cable television.
Yeah. So we're nixing that one.
So we're not doing
that.
The first 2 minutes of Braden's brain
we'll
will
give
be
you
about
time
what
to
we're
catch
not
up.
talking about.
We'll give you time to catch up on the
I would
new
love to
ones.
watch them this summer.
Yeah. They're all on Hulu. The first 3 are. Like the one from 2011, James Franco, up to
so
now.
this new age, so not
yeah.
Charlton.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Mark Wahlberg one like 2001 or something?
Yeah, I think so.
I want to find. You know what? Screw it. I want to find that one.
Okay.
That's probably available
You can watch
somewhere.
that one. But my topic is not about Planet
Anyway,
of the Apes.
Now I'm interested. But anyway, not Planet of the Apes. Braden, I'll ask again. We'll do a reset here within the segment. Braden, give us some brain.
Gladly, Cam. Let me move this down a little bit. There we go. So a couple summers ago, I don't know if you know about this.
God, we need some music for this. Almost like a fairy tale music. Go ahead.
Like off to Dreamland kind of music?
Yeah, like a harp. You know what I mean? I don't know how to make
Right.
that. Like like something almost Twilight Zone-y, but not as scary.
Yes.
Notably scary music, Twilight Zone. Anyway, couple summers ago.
You
were like 10. Yep.
Correct. This is 2022, before you had met me.
Yeah, okay.
Before I even knew.
Actually, don't even remember life before that.
No, this is the summer that I discovered who Cam Stewart was. Because I was an avid watcher of the Drake Toll era of Locked On Baylor.
Wow. And you haven't watched since he's been off, of course.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Who is ew? The host is ugly and gross.
Yikes, brother.
But anyways, I worked at a summer camp all summer.
Okay.
From May until August. And just now, as you were getting your water because you're the on-air talent, I was reminded of the mantra we had to live by to make sure our campers did not die.
Okay.
And they had to
Wait, was this cancer camp?
This was not cancer camp.
Okay.
It's a callback. But
Okay.
no, this is
Thank you.
good memory. This is Bible camp, church camp. But also like wilderness camp
Very cool. Yeah.
out in the hills of West Texas.
Whereabouts?
You know Kerrville?
Yeah.
An hour east of Kerrville. Or west of Kerrville.
I wouldn't call that West Texas, but
It was pretty west.
that's like still hill country.
very much west of where we are right now.
In the very center of Texas. Anyway, okay, you're at the camp. You're a leader. You're molding young minds. You are in
Molding young
charge of
children.
children. How old were these kids?
So my side of camp, they were 6 to 14.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh
no.
Co-ed
To
camp.
catch a counselor. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're like college-age kids, the counselors then?
Yeah. College
and
age.
female counselors as well.
Yes.
Braden, you die.
Braden.
You dog. That must have been a cesspool.
Not until the end of the summer.
Have you ever heard stories about like the Olympic Village?
I have.
Like people would just get down and dirty in like the alleys of Olympic Village.
And they couldn't do it
There was just
one.
a lot of intercourse going on. They gave out like thousands of condoms.
Well, at one of the recent Olympics, they had the beds were made out of cardboard, so they couldn't do anything.
That's true. Yeah,
Remember that?
That was the COVID Olympics.
Was that South Korea?
I
No.
don't know. I honestly have not tuned into the Olympics in years.
I've heard that there's.
I've just not.
I've heard rumblings there are Olympics this year.
there are, right? Yeah,
they're in
it's
Paris.
24. Yeah. Pally. I did watch some baseball last time, actually. So I was happy for that to be back. Anyway, we're off topic again.
We are off topic.
We need to get back to Braden's brain. So you were a counselor, just banging broads left and right in the barracks.
I do, Cam.
Yeah, or dudes. I don't care. Really. Anyway, you were.
Anyways,
in between breaks of gash that you were getting.
I would have to, make sure the kids don't wander off into the wilderness.
Gash from counselors, by the way. I want that to be clear.
No, not the 6 to 14
I'd like that to be clear. The 19, 20, as you were 19 or 20. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Cam. And we had this one activity at camp. It's called the Sherpa. And it's basically you walk along a cliff face attached to a metal wire, right?
Okay.
You seem confused.
I am confused. I'm not gonna lie.
What are you confused about?
Is this like rock climbing? You're attached to a metal wire. Is it like a zip line type wire?
It is zip line type wire.
Okay,
and I would describe it as kind of like horizontal rock climbing. So instead of going up, you're going across.
So why do you need a wire?
So you don't fall to your death.
So you're actually like slacklining on rock? What?
It's not like a tightrope. There's a narrow ledge that you're like kind of shimmying across.
Okay. All right.
And you're.
That sounds fun, by the way. Sounds very fun.
You're about 100 feet off the ground.
Cool.
And you're facing directly.
These are the kind of rocks they have like the nets on beside the highway, so you don't jump off and kill yourself.
Correct.
Okay.
But
gotcha. So you're walking along one of those as a camp activity.
Right.
Okay.
I actually really enjoyed this camp activity because there is a chance that if you misplace your claws, you could just fall. It's probably
it sounds good for the 6-year-olds.
For the 6-year-olds, that's why the 6-year-olds can't do it. You have to be at least 10.
You have to be 7.5.
You have to be 6.5. The first Monday of February.
Gotcha. Okay.
But no. And the way that it's positioned in the camp, you have the sun directly on your back, beating down on you at an angle. So, the rocks are getting hot, and it's reflecting off the rock into you.
All right, yeah.
So it's maybe 20, 30 degrees hotter than it actually is, just because there's no trees. Usually it's not very cloudy.
All right, yeah. All right. Let's go.
And this is, I was the senior leader on this activity for this 1 week, and I had a junior counselor who's like, he'd never done it before. I was like, okay, you'll come with me and
follow me, boys. Yes,
me and the 30 kids I'm in charge of. And we're supposed to have.
Scary. That's frightening.
We are supposed to have.
That's frightening.
Tell all the kids to bring their water bottles and grab the radio from the nearest hut. I'm like, okay, I've done this before. I don't need the radio. I know how this goes. We'll live.
Oh God.
We'll make it back.
How many? All right, like how many kids died under your purview, under your watch?
Maybe 2.
Okay.
I did have
It's not bad considering, that's 1 in every 15.
Right. I did have a kid have his nose broken when I was taking a nap once.
That's good. That's good leadership.
Yeah.
Braden Murray. Yeah.
It's like everyone go over there.
Where does this story go?
A kid poops
is what
his
I'm
pants.
wondering. Oh, that's it?
I mean, what else do you want?
Punchline? Like, well, you were giving this whole backdrop like it was the freaking Old Testament, man. Like, okay, so a kid shit his pants.
Correct. I was like, oh, what is this smell?
God, the brain of Braden Murray, man.
There's also a kid who I was concerned
who used the bathroom. He actually made it.
I was concerned for this one girl. I don't know. She was about 10 or so. And we get to the end of this mile-long trek across the rock face.
Yeah.
And I had told everyone, hey, make sure you're bringing your water bottles so you can drink water and so you don't get dehydrated. And this
hydrate, don't dehydrate.
This is where the bit about not bringing the walkie-talkie comes in. Because we get
because
to
the kid shit his pants and
this is separate
What was
kid.
it?
Separate kid. The
Fine.
kid who pooped his pants. We didn't find that out till later. Okay.
Oh man.
So we
Lead
get to
a
the
rash. That's gross.
we get
Anyway.
to the end of like the activity, very end, and this one girl, she faints on us. She's kind of like hanging there slack off the edge of the cliff, and we're like, oh shoot, we probably should have brought our walkie-talkie. That way we could have got her walkied and.
Yeah, that's really stupid that you didn't bring a walkie-talkie.
I know. I've thought about this.
Just
a lot.
thought I'm gonna bring 30 kids to this apparently death-defying exercise, but I've done this before. I don't need to communicate with any professionals or anything like that. What?
Why would I need? There's a cricket I just noticed in the corner of my eye. Anyways,
in our studio.
Yeah, there is. There's a wildlife in our studio cam.
Should I kill it? Should I step on it?
Nah, I think we're fine.
I don't want to get out of frame either. Anyway, go ahead. I'll watch the cricket.
You'll keep an eye on it for us.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
you've just I've been derailed in my story. We get to the end of the activity. This girl faints and like is collapsed on the rock face. And they're like, "Hey, I know you're not feeling well, but we do have to walk a mile back to camp."
That's great.
Because it was lunchtime and we were already late for lunch.
And this girl clearly needs some lunch.
Right.
She throws up. She needs something in her system.
She throws up. And I'm like, this is not looking good for me. I'm going to get...
How old, or I shouldn't say this, but, like, how big is this girl? Like, can nobody, like, arm around the shoulder? I know it's a mile. That's a lot. But if she's just fainted.
We're not really allowed to have physical contact with
touch
kids.
The campers.
Especially because she was a
and
girl.
A life-saving
If it was a dude,
measure.
You know, you could argue that I need to carry this boy to safety.
Like, I mean, yes, you probably needed to carry her to safety too, but that's politics, I guess. Like, they're not letting you do that.
But I was like, hey, I know you're basically dying on me, and it's kind of it's definitely my fault for not bringing the radio. But you do have to get up and start walking, or else
start walking, girl.
Or else there will be crews sent out to find us. So
which would probably be good, but a lot of hassle.
Which did happen to me before at this camp.
Yeah, but in this story,
I gave her my I gave her my water bottle. So I'm like, hey, you're dying on me. I need you to drink something.
Not die. Yeah.
And we get safely back to camp, and this is a bad counselor moment. I go up to her and say, hey, don't tell anybody.
Oh, my God.
Don't tell anybody that I did not take a radio with me.
Oh,
because
no.
I will get in serious trouble. And apparently this girl...
You're still... You know, you're not doing anything illegal or nefarious, but you are doing the slimy...
The slimy,
position of
like,
power.
It's like,
don't tell anybody I did anything wrong.
It's like when the police
trust me.
It's like
your
when
career's
the police
in my
chief,
hands.
Like when the police chief and Batman would get paid off by like the Joker. He was like that. I was trying to pay her off, and apparently
this girl's like 11 on her deathbed.
On her deathbed. Apparently earlier in the week,
marching to her death.
Earlier in the week, we had an activity, or they do have an activity earlier in the week that she went on called the Cave. Where you walk like 2.5 miles, and you have to shimmy down.
Is this the story though? Have we reached like
We've reached the climax and conclusion of the story.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
This is about the time I almost had a girl die on me.
Give it up, Braden Murray, one of the great minds, truly.
One of the minds of all time.
Has that ever been a problem for you? I know you've had some blood troubles in the past. Like, have you ever had any fainting troubles?
In the hospital once, yes.
Okay. Well, that's because you didn't have any blood.
Right. Didn't have any.
But it's not like, because I actually at Baylor, our alma mater, I had a class with a young lady who was one of those who couldn't see blood, hear about blood, think about blood, or she'd pass out. Learn this the hard way, okay? It was in one of those amphitheater styles I don't know if you had the new Tidwell building, but you'll see it in college campuses everywhere. like, you know what I mean? Amphitheater style.
Like Bennett, like a Bennett
and like a
Draper?
couple different rows, like going down, like steps. Yeah. And so this girl sat in front of me, and it was a Christian heritage class, and our guy, good old boy, been teaching religion at Baylor for 40 years or whatever. Good old Texan boy, old guy, not boy.
Mm-hmm.
He was describing like the sacrifices they would make in the Old Testament, which is our second Old Testament reference of this bit here, and. He would be like, yeah, so they, take the pig or whatever the animal and they slit its throat, make sure the most blood comes out and God can see it and all this. And this girl gets up from her desk. This teacher was kind of a hard ass, this professor. So, like, you didn't get up to go to the bathroom. You definitely didn't talk. You definitely didn't go on your phone, anything like that. She gets up and just goes, like, and sits in between, like, her desk and the desk next to her, which is in front of me, and just drops. Like, just totally falls back. Eyes, like, through the back of her head and everything. And I'm, like, freaking out. This girl is landed at my feet, okay? Like, this is crazy to me. And I'm like, hello? Sorry to interrupt, but can we get some help here? The school nurse or something? And... the professor's just like, well, he goes, do we have any nursing students in the room? This is like freshmen and sophomores, like taking a biology class, maybe organic chemistry. And he was like, do we have any nursing students? Can we get you guys over here? And Lucy, the assistant professor, whatever you call it, TA, can you just get some wet paper towels from the ladies' room, please? And that's what they did. These two nursing students came over. They put some cold, like brown, hard paper towels from the bathroom on her forehead. And he was like, does anyone have any food or something nearby? And I had in my backpack like half a pack of Skittles that have been in there for like a week. And gave that to her. And in the midst of all of this, the professor comes over and goes, I bet you don't like talking about blood now, do you, sweetheart? And she was like, no, I don't really like it. I'm sorry. And he goes, okay, well, we'll get you set up here. And we got you good. We're gonna go back up to the lecture. Goes back up to the lecture and just goes, where was I? Oh, yeah, so they take the pig and they just slit its throat clean open. It was fucking unbelievable. And this poor girl is, like, looking to me with her, like, crushed green Skittle, like, thank you. You helped a lot. It was the most awkward situation I've ever been in the class. Well, one of the most awkward situations I've ever been in a classroom. I did, in high school once, mention the words midget porn in a classroom setting. That was probably pretty awkward.
You think?
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember the exact context. It was like we had to do some like class debate on like
a class debate on midget porn?
Yeah, definitely. And the ethics of it and everything.
What do y'all learn?
No, it was about banning books. And we were on the side of having to ban books, which like nobody's on that side in real life in an argument setting. And it was like, I don't remember. I made the point of like, well, where do we draw the line? Like, should we have our kids watch, violent crimes or midget porn, or have them formulate opinions on that? So that's how I got to it. But Braden Murray, I'm going to go ahead and say not good camp counselor.
I was one of the better
put your campers in danger. And like, I get it. Like cancer camp, they're all in danger to some extent, but this is a camp that didn't have that inherent danger. And you decided to spice things up. You were like, this needs to be more like cancer camp. I need an underlying danger here. Why don't I just not take my walkie-talkie with me on this death-defying experience? Does that sound accurate?
Yes. Sorry, the cricket's back.
Oh man, I'm starting to think Braden's brain is just a studio with a cricket roaming
That's
around.
really what's going on up there.
Going
most
around
of the
inside
time.
the brain.
Just clicking buttons.
Braden,
Yes, Cameron.
thanks for giving us some brain.
You're very welcome.